This is not another Volti audio one-take video. This is going to be multiple takes as I upgrade my bells. So I have a pair of bells here. I bought my bells from Greg. I knew of Volti Audio, and I always thought Volti Audio was in Maine. And so I found a good deal on a pair of bells online, and I'd thought about building a pair. I actually had a pair of RF7 2s up here that we had in an old house, and it didn't sound good when we put them in here. This room actually has a nice big cathedral ceiling, and this room just eats bass alive, so hence the nice big horn in the center. Here's the dog, obligatory dog in the video. But I decided when I saw the bells for sale, rather than trying to build a pair, I would see if I could work out a deal with the guys selling the speakers. And he said, well, I'm Greg at Volti Audio, but where he said he was located wasn't Maine, so I thought it was a scammer. And I called him out on it, and he said, no, you need to check, we've moved. And buying bells is how I met Greg at Volti Audio. Over the almost 2 years now, I guess, over 2 years, I've had a chance to really meet Greg and chat with Greg about a lot of things. And in some ways, I'm kind of sad I didn't buy a pair of rivals. It would have been a lot less work. But at the same time, this house was built in 1980. These speakers are from 1986. And so they really match the vibe of the house. And so I just kind of want to walk you through what I got right now. And then what I'll be doing over the next, probably couple of months, because I'm out of town for a month, is doing the upgrades to the bells. So here we've got the tan grills, which I absolutely love. So we're going back with that. In fact, this grill material here in the horn subwoofer is a cloth that Greg gave to me. It's got, well, it's not 40 years old, so it's a little, the black stands out a little more. But we'll actually change out the grill cloth for the newer, not quite so sun-faded cloth as part of this process. So before I dive into the bells, I guess I should describe this. This subwoofer is a subwoofer designed by Lil Mike. It's a tapped horn sub. I built it. I built a table around it. There's finish work that obviously needs to happen, but we haven't really decided on stain yet. We've played with a few stains. And so, yeah, we're not quite there. We'll figure it out. But the table around it then has the crown amp. It's just a crown XTI 1002. The subwoofer is wired for 4 ohms, so it's putting out up to 1400 watts into that sub, and I have seen the clipping lights, but yet have made the subwoofer make horrible noises. It makes great noises when it's running. Carry Audio SLI 100 amplifier. Greg promotes the SLI 80. I, in a lot of ways, maybe wish I would have gone with the SLI 80. I've swapped out some tubes. You can see there's some Linleys in the driver tube position. There's Tesla in the input tube, but still the original KT150s. If I had the SLI 80, I could try different power tubes. This only works with the KT150s, so that's life. I don't know that I like the Linleys. I may go back to JJ's. It doesn't really seem to, the driver tube doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. But anyway, that's another story. And a Furman power conditioner. Mini SHD that I bought as a streamer and crossover with the EQ and stuff. It is an absolutely crummy streamer. That's a piece of garbage. I can't believe that Mini still is selling that and that more people aren't complaining. Greg likes the Inuos, or liked the Inuos. Of course, if you've seen the recent videos, he's moved away from the Inuos. But I found this Inuos at the Mini, Zen Mini. I found it on used, and it got a really good deal on it, so I bought that. The black box on top runs the Samsung frame television. So anyway, that's kind of what's driving everything here. Absolutely love the way that this sounds, except that I know it can sound better. One of the problems of getting to know Greg, as well as I have over the last couple of years, is I listen to his speakers, the Rivals and the Vittoras and the Raz and the Luceras, and then I got to go home and listen to my junk. And this sounds good, but it's still not as good. So that's part of the reason why I'm doing the upgrades. So I've already made some upgrades to these bells. These have the Eminence Kappa woofer in them, which helps the upper bass bin, so the lower mid-range, helps out there because the bell is it's a refolded La Scala, maybe with some compromises, as we'll see when we dive into things here. So that eminence kappa should help with some of the problems with the compromises that Paul Klipsch made when he did the bells. And then we got to dive in the back here, and oh, what do you see? We see VTK crossovers, okay, for sure. We see the horn that they use in the bell. Let's see if this changes focus and color. And look at that horn. That is a crummy mid-range horn. At least the K horn and La Scala have a bigger horn. This thing is, I don't know, it's not good. And that's another compromise. So it doesn't play as low. So where the bass bin and the mid horn join, there's a big dip, which is a problem. And then you can maybe see that I have a B and C tweeter that I put in because the bell tweeter just took a nosedive above like 10K, and it really seems like Klipsch hasn't fixed that. These play up to 17K. I can still hear to 15,500 hertz. So I did enjoy this tweeter upgrade to what was going on. But then there's this other little board over here, and maybe someday we'll see if this becomes a product of Volti Audio or not. But that's a notch filter to take out the resonance in the bass bin. 150 hertz on both the La Scala and the bell is where that bass bin peaks, and it's pretty peaky. So with the notch filter, that takes it down. The original bass bin crossover, the original AB crossover, had no filtering on the woofer at all. The VTK adds a first order filter for the subwoofer, or for the woofer. This board here, along with the notch, turns the woofer crossover from a first order into a third order. So there's a cap, about 100 microfarads of capacitance there, and another inductor for third order. And that helps that lower mid-range, the upper part of the bass bin, integrate better to the mid-horn. I'm not set in stone in what this is yet, so we'll have to see what the upgrades do. And that's probably what I'll put in the next video, is showing you the bell parts, or really the K-horn and bell parts. This upgrade works for both. And Greg sells far more upgrades for K-horn customers than he does bell customers, but I wanted to highlight just the changes that you get with the Volti Audio upgrades to the bells, not just to the K-horns, and really that mid-horn, the way that that's going to make that sound so much better. And I know it will, because I've heard it. And I know what that horn sounds like. I just can't wait. Going to be trying out the different mid drivers and the different tweeters that are available as well. As you might guess by the way I'm talking about this, I don't live very far away from Greg. So I'm going to try out some stuff, provide our opinions on things, and show you how it works. One of the other things I'm going to do while I'm in here is I'm going to separate the bass bin from the top hat entirely and use some isoacoustic isolators in between. That's how Greg runs the Vittoras, and I don't know that that'll have a big effect, but we will find out how that works as well. So, and as Greg was complaining recently about the La Scalas, it's not just the La Scalas. These do have metal feet on them. They can and do and have damaged the wood floors in here, and the metal feet on these bells are currently covered with little felt pads to fix that problem. So we'll see if we can make these sound as good as they look, because many people, and I'm one of them, think the bells are the best looking speaker Klipsch ever made. And so hopefully we can get them sounding like Volti Audio while still looking like bells to match our 1980s home.